In this day and age, planning for the unthinkable has become an absolute must for a country's security agency. But what if the unthinkable does become a reality? Just imagine the chaos if you wake up one day to see that your city's transportation system has come to a halt, or that ATM machines don't work. At the very least, you would have people running around in panic. Imagine the chaos that ensues when power is cut off for tens of thousands of people, the dangers that follow. This is exactly what Iran's intelligence ministry says it has prevented. On May 21st, 2011, Iran broke up a spy network it says was linked to the US Central Intelligence Agency. 30 people have been arrested in this operation inside Iran, and the intelligence ministry says it has proof that all these operatives did work for the CIA. Iran's intelligence service has been keeping an eye on these agents for the past year. Their meetings in different countries were monitored and videotaped. In today's program, we'll hear these agents tell us how they went back and forth between serving their country and betraying it.
Iran's intelligence minister told Iran Today in an interview that 30 people had been arrested inside Iran on espionage charges, while another 42 CIA operatives linked to the spy ring had been identified in various countries.
بالاخره سرویس‌های اطلاعاتی حفره‌های اطلاعاتی داره. ما یکی از کارهای خوب مجموعمون و عزیزانمون این بود که این حفره‌ها رو تونستیم شناسایی کنیم. این حفره‌ها برای آینده‌های ما هم خیلی قابل استفاده است. ممکنه دشمن بره این حفره‌ها رو پر کنه یا در واقع از بین ببره، ولی قطعاً حفره‌های دیگری داره که باز میتونیم از اونها استفاده بکنیم. تو این حرکت در واقع این خیلی برای ما خدمت شما عرض کنم که مثمر ثمر بود و تونستیم از این استفاده بکنیم.
Iran's intelligence service says the network was operating under various guises, including job-finding centers. Jamshid Sadiq Hosseini is one of those youths who dreamed of a better future. In an exclusive interview, the 31-year-old project manager in a company working under Iran's Atomic Energy Organization explains the first time he received the phone call that introduced him into the world of espionage.
یک شرکت کاریابی به نام ICTR با من تماس گرفتن، یا آقای زنگ زد به موبایل من و در اونجا به من گفتش که رزومه شما به دست ما رسیده، رزومت رو شما شروع کرد به تعریف کردن که شما به هر حال گزینه خوبی هستی، سوابق کاریت و کارهایی که انجام دادی نشون داده که آدم کار کرده هستی و اگه امکانش باشه ما همدیگر رو ببینیم.
Tehran says the bogus job-finding centers were looking to recruit Iranians to spy for Washington with promises that included issuing visas, helping with permanent residency, and making job and study offers. In a statement, Iran's intelligence ministry announced that the CIA had set up fake websites. Under the cover of job-finding centers, US agents looked for ways to recruit Iranians to their cause. Now, Tehran says it's ready to name names.
Halbertson Advisors, Technical Hiring, Engineer One Incorporated, Dayon Capital, Nuevara International, Waldmiller Group, Marketing Research Association. These are the websites that Tehran says were used as a cover by CIA agents to find the right connections inside Iran by representing themselves as a legitimate company. If the Iranian applicants took the time to check the websites, they would come across several points that would seem suspicious, to say the least. Although one too many questions were left unanswered, some Iranians, including this 30-year-old computer graduate who had access to the country's telecommunication database, chose to go along with the ride. We are not allowed to show the faces of most of those charged with spying for the US due to restrictions from Iran's judiciary.
به من گفته بود که من خودم مثلا توی امریکا و کانادا هستم، ولی اون شماره رو که من نگاه کردم این شماره 201 نداشت، ولی یه جور سرمایه آمد که ما همینو با 201 امتحان کردیم، هم با 20 خالی از همین شماره جمع اون هم نمید. بعد من وبسایت اینا رو نگاه کردم، وبسایتشون 2-3 تا صفحه بود، هیچ توش نبود، فقط 2-3 تا اسم، مثلا خیلی وبسایت مثلا فرمالیته‌ای بود، قشنگ مشخص بود نه مثلا بیزینسی، مثلا حالا ما با چه کمپانی‌های پارتنر هستیم، چی کار میکنیم، مثلا ما چی هستیم.
US agents used these identities to contact Iranian citizens whom they had targeted for covert operations.
One sure place to find Iranians at their most vulnerable was when they applied for US visas. Graduated from Iran's Ivy League Sharif University, this nuclear engineer is one of the Iranians who applied for a US visa in hopes of studying in the United States. But that dream came at a price.
تو اگه ویزای آمریکا میخواد باید با ما همکاری، اگر ویزای آمریکا نمیخواد همکاری یعنی گفتم چه همکاری بود، باید مثلا به ما یه سوال ازت بگم، من این سوال جواب نمیدم.
The CIA operatives reportedly collected information from Iran's scientific, research and academic centers, especially in the fields of air and defense industries and nuclear energy. There has been no response from US officials, but Washington and its allies have admitted to seeking information about Iran's nuclear energy and research program. In an article in The New Yorker in 2008, journalist Seymour Hersh said the Bush administration launched a significant escalation of covert operations in Iran, sending US commandos to spy on the country's nuclear facilities and undermine the Islamic Republic's government. But apparently that's not all the US has been up to. Tehran says the now dismantled network also spied on Iran's telecommunication grids, airports and banks, among other places. Iran believes the spy ring was planning to use any collected information for future sabotage operations. And according to Tehran University professor Fouad Izadi, these operations are aimed at the country's infrastructure.
In the past, we have had instances where they want to find out how the banking system works, how the ATM machines work, how the subway system works. As you can clearly see, these type of information is needed for when they want to create problems within the country's infrastructure. And creating problems for a country's infrastructure, a country that has 75 million people, will actually result in a lot of deaths if you shut down the electricity in a country or if you play around with the country's subway system.
One of the places that was reportedly the target of future CIA operations was Iran's electrical network. This engineer, who was arrested for sending intelligence related to Iran's electrical infrastructure to the CIA, describes what happened in his first meeting.
یه نقشه خیلی معمولی از یه شبکه برق رو به من نشون داد. چی هستش این رو برای این شما طرح مخابراتی داری یا نداری؟ همجور رو کاغذ چک نویسی من چیزی گفتم بده من ببرم بررسی بکنم، برات نتیجهش رو ایمیل بزنم بیارم و چیزش بکنم، به اصطلاح بدم که طرح و تمیز مرتب باشه. گفت نه همینجور روی کاغذ برای من بکش ببین تو چی کار میکنی، چه طرحی برای این داری. مثل همین چیزایی که کار خودم هست و براش کشیدم در واقع و من اگر باشم همچین طرحی رو برای این در واقع در نظر.
What is one way to distinguish a fake company from a real one? Aside from websites that have proven to offer very little to their visitors, Most of the meetings almost always take place in a third country. The first interviews are usually held at a hotel lobby instead of an official office. But first and foremost, the CIA agents are extremely careful in not leaving any trace behind.
اینجا منظره قشنگی داره میشه لطفاً با من یه عکس از کسی بخوایم ازمون ما یه عکس یادگاری بگیره به من گفتن نه من عجله دارم یه حالت خاصی گفتن نه مثلا انتظار همچین چیزی رو نداشتم گفتن که نه من وقت مصاحبه دارم و خیلی دیر رو نمیتونم رفتم.
While those involved in espionage know full well what they're dealing with, there are others who are uncertain about whether the information they pass on to a third party is off limits. And of course there are those who have no idea at all that they are being used as spies. Iran's intelligence minister has said that most of the people arrested in the US spy ring fall into the second category. Even though they weren't fully aware that their activities are considered espionage, they did feel that something wasn't right.
He insisted on keeping this relation quiet, especially away from my company, from my colleagues, even from my relatives. And it was again odd. I just asked, why do you insist on keeping these relations away? I mean, the transferring of those information. He said, okay, this is because this is the policy of our company, and I don't want to get involved in your company or your colleagues. This is a personal issue that we are going to solve.